This is Max and Mia podcast.
Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Max and Mia podcast. I'm Max.
And I'm Mia. It's so good to be here with you again today.
How are you doing, Mia? You seem pretty energetic today.
I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. I had a really relaxing weekend, so I'm feeling refreshed and ready to go. What about you?
I can't complain at all. I'm excited about today's episode, actually. There's a lot to cover.
Before we jump into that, we just want to take a moment to thank all of you for tuning in week after week. Your support really means the world to us.
Seriously, we wouldn't be able to keep doing this without you. So, thank you.
All right, let's talk about what we've got for you today. This episode is packed with several different conversations to help you improve your English.
That's right. These are everyday conversations, the kind you'll actually run into in real life. We designed them to sharpen both your listening and your speaking skills.
And that makes this episode perfect for shadowing practice. If you're not familiar with shadowing, it basically means listening to a native speaker and repeating what they say almost at the same time, copying their rhythm, their intonation, everything.
It's one of the best ways to sound more natural when you speak. So keep that in mind as we go through today's conversations.
Now, let's get into our first topic of the day. This is a situation every single one of us will face at some point, especially when we move to a new place.
Exactly. Whether you're renting or buying a house, one of the very first things you'll need to do is set up internet for your home.
And this is where things can get tricky. If you don't listen carefully or you don't communicate clearly, you might end up with a bad internet plan, unwanted charges, or all sorts of headaches that could have been avoided.
That's why mastering the language here really matters. A small misunderstanding on the phone can end up costing you a lot of time and money.
So, let's set the scene for our first audio. In this conversation, you'll hear someone calling an internet provider to ask about plans and get everything set up for their new home.
Pay close attention to how they ask questions, how they confirm details, and how they handle the back and forth with the customer service agent.
All right, let's get into it. Here's our first conversation of the day.
Thank you for calling QuickNet Support. My name is Daniel. How can I help you today?
Hi, Daniel. Good afternoon. So I just moved into a new apartment and I need to set up internet service. I don't have any plan yet.
Perfect. I can definitely help you with that. Could I get your full name and the address where you'd like the service installed?
Sure. It's Gianna Torres, and the address is 482 Willow Street, apartment 3B.
Great, thanks. Let me pull that up real quick. Okay, I see we do have coverage in your building. Now, what kind of internet usage are we talking about? Do you work from home, stream a lot, anything like that?
Yeah, actually, I work from home most days, and I've got 2 roommates who game and stream constantly, so we're going to need something pretty fast.
Got it. That makes sense. In that case, I wouldn't recommend our basic plan. Let me walk you through our options. We've got 3 main plans. The starter plan gives you 100 megs for $29 a month. Then there's the standard plan, which is 300 megs for $45. And our top tier is the ultra plan, 500 megs for $65 a month.
With 3 people working and gaming at once, I think the standard plan might be a bit too weak. What's the difference between standard and ultra besides the speed?
Good question. The Ultra plan also comes with a static IP address, which is nice if any of you do a lot of gaming or need a stable connection for video calls. Plus, it includes free installation, whereas the other 2 plans charge a $70 setup fee.
Oh, that changes things. Okay, I think Ultra sounds like the better fit for us. Are there any contracts I need to sign? Like, am I locked in for a certain period?
So with the Ultra plan, there's an 18-month contract. If you cancel early, there's a penalty fee that decreases the longer you stay. I can send you the full terms by email so you can read through the cancellation clause carefully.
Please do. I always like to read the fine print before committing to anything. Like, I've been burned before with hidden charges.
Totally understandable. I'll make sure everything's clear. Now, one more thing. Do you want to add our equipment protection plan? It's an extra $5 a month, and it covers any damage or malfunction to the router.
I'll pass on that one for now. I'd rather keep the monthly cost down.
No problem at all. So just to confirm, we're setting you up with the Ultra plan, 500 megs, $65 a month, free installation, and an 18-month contract. Does that sound right?
Yes, that's right. When can someone come install it?
Let me check our schedule. Okay, we've got an opening this Thursday between 9 and 11 in the morning, or Friday afternoon between 2 and 4. Which works better for you?
Thursday morning works perfectly. I'll be home anyway.
Excellent. I've got you booked for Thursday at 9. You'll get a confirmation text shortly, along with that email with the contract details.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your help, Daniel.
My pleasure, Gianna. Welcome to QuickNet. And if you have any other questions before Thursday, feel free to give us a call back.
Will do. Have a great rest of your day.
You too. Take care.
Okay, that was a great conversation to start with. There's so much useful vocabulary in there.
Totally agree. Let's break down a few key points for you. First off, did you catch how Daniel listed out the plans? The starter plan gives you 100 megabytes for $29 a month. That structure gives you X for Y dollars is super useful when you're comparing prices in English.
Right. And you'll hear that pattern a lot in customer service calls, whether it's internet, phone plans, or even gym memberships. It's worth practicing that sentence structure on your own.
Another thing I want to point out is the phrase locked in. Gianna asked, "Am I locked in for a certain period?" That's a really natural way to ask about contract length without sounding overly formal.
Good catch. And Daniel's answer used the word penalty fee, which is essential vocabulary anytime you're talking about contracts or cancellations. You'll want that one in your back pocket.
I also loved the line. I always like to read the fine print before committing to anything. Fine print refers to the small details in a contract, usually the stuff companies hope you won't read too closely.
So true. And notice how Gianna said, "I've been burned before." That's an idiom. It means she's had a bad experience in the past, usually because someone tricked her or she made a mistake. It doesn't literally mean she got hurt by fire.
Great idiom to add to your vocabulary list. One more thing before we move on, listen to how Daniel confirmed the order at the end. Just to confirm, we're setting you up with... That confirmation technique is something you'll want to use anytime you're finalizing a purchase or a service over the phone. It shows the other person you're paying attention.
Solid advice. All right, so that covers our first conversation. Setting up internet is something we all deal with eventually, and now you've got the vocabulary to handle it with confidence.
Now let's move on to our second conversation of the day. And this one's just as important, if not more.
Oh, for sure. Think about it. At some point, all of us need to make a doctor's appointment, right? Whether it's a routine checkup or something urgent, you're going to need to call a clinic and communicate clearly.
And this is exactly the kind of situation where nerves can get the best of you. If you're not confident in your English, explaining your symptoms or understanding the receptionist's questions can feel pretty stressful.
Which is exactly why we picked this topic. In our next conversation, you're going to hear a phone call where someone calls a clinic to schedule an appointment. Pay close attention to how they describe what's going on and how the receptionist gathers the information she needs.
You'll pick up some really practical vocabulary here. Things like symptoms, availability, insurance, and scheduling terms that you can use the next time you need to book an appointment yourself.
So get ready, because our second conversation of the day is called Making a Doctor's Appointment. Let's dive right in.
Good morning, Riverside Family Clinic. This is Karen speaking. How can I help you?
Hi, Karen. Good morning. I'd like to schedule an appointment, please. I haven't been feeling well for the past couple of days.
I'm sorry to hear that. Of course, let's get you set up. Can I have your full name and date of birth, please?
Yeah, it's Marcus Bennett, and my date of birth is April 3rd, 1990.
Thank you, Marcus. Let me pull up your file. Okay, I've got you here. Now, can you tell me a bit about what's going on? What symptoms are you experiencing?
Sure. So it started with a sore throat a few days ago, and now I've got this persistent cough and a bit of a fever. Nothing too high, maybe around 100 degrees.
Got it. Have you taken anything for it so far?
Just some over-the-counter medicine, but honestly, it hasn't made much of a difference.
Okay, that's helpful to know. Given your symptoms, I'd recommend seeing Dr. Alvarez. Would you prefer something soon, or is this more of a routine visit?
I'd rather come in soon if possible. This cough is really starting to wear me down.
Understood. Let me check her availability. I've got an opening tomorrow at 10:30 in the morning, or if that doesn't work, she's also got a slot Thursday at 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Tomorrow morning works great for me. I'll take that one.
Perfect. You're all set for tomorrow at 10:30 with Dr. Alvarez. Now, do you still have the same insurance on file, Blue Horizon Health?
Yes, that's still current.
Great. That makes things easier. Just a heads up, there might be a small copay depending on your plan, usually around $25, but that'll be confirmed at the front desk.
No problem. That's fine.
Awesome. Also, since it sounds like you might have something contagious, we ask that you wear a mask when you come in, just as a precaution for the other patients.
Of course. That makes sense. I'll bring one with me.
Perfect. Is there anything else I can help you with today?
Actually, yeah, quick question. Do I need to fast or avoid eating before the appointment?
No, this is just a general checkup for your symptoms, so no fasting required. You're free to eat normally beforehand.
Great. Good to know. Thanks so much, Karen.
You're very welcome, Marcus. We'll see you tomorrow at 10:30. Feel better soon.
Thank you. Take care.
Okay, that was such a useful conversation. Making a doctor's appointment can feel intimidating, but Marcus handled it really smoothly.
Definitely. Let's start with how he described his symptoms. He said, "It started with a sore throat, and now I've got this persistent cough." That word, persistent, is a great one to remember. It basically means something that keeps going and won't go away.
Right, and it sounds a lot more natural than just saying, a cough that doesn't stop. Using words like persistent or constant will make you sound way more fluent when describing symptoms.
Another phrase worth noting is over-the-counter medicine. That refers to medication you can buy without a prescription, like painkillers or cold medicine. You'll hear that phrase constantly at pharmacies too.
Good one. I also want to highlight how Karen asked, would you prefer something soon, or is this more of a routine visit? That's a really practical way to ask whether it's urgent or not. You could totally reuse that structure in other situations, like booking a hair appointment or a car repair.
Absolutely. And let's talk about copay for a second. That's such an important word if you're dealing with insurance in an English-speaking country. It's the small fixed amount you pay out of pocket for a visit, separate from what your insurance covers.
Great point. Also, Karen used the word contagious, meaning something that can spread easily to other people. That's why she asked Marcus to wear a mask as a precaution.
Precaution, by the way, is another solid vocabulary word. It just means an action taken in advance to prevent something bad from happening.
Such a practical conversation overall. All right, let's move on to our third and final conversation of the day.
Oh, this one's a classic. At some point, we've all bought something that turned out to be broken, the wrong size, or just not what we expected.
Exactly. And knowing how to explain what's wrong and ask for a solution in clear English can save you a lot of frustration at the store.
In this next conversation, you're going to hear someone returning a product and explaining the issue to a store employee. Listen closely to how they describe the problem and how they ask for a refund or an exchange.
You'll also pick up some useful vocabulary around receipts, refunds, exchanges, and store policies. All things you'll want in your toolkit for real-life situations.
So, get ready for our final conversation of the day, returning a product to a store. Let's jump right in.
Hi there. Welcome to Bright Home Goods. How can I help you today?
Hi, good afternoon. So I bought this blender here last week, and I'd like to return it. It's not working properly.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Do you happen to have your receipt with you?
Yes, I do, right here. I bought it last Tuesday.
Perfect, thank you. Let me take a look. Okay, I see it here in our system. Can you tell me a bit more about what's going wrong with it?
Sure, so basically, every time I turn it on, it makes this really loud grinding noise, and after about 10 seconds, it just shuts off completely. It's happened 3 times now.
That definitely doesn't sound right. Did this happen from the very first time you used it, or did it start later on?
Actually, it worked fine the first 2 times, but ever since the 3rd use, it's been doing this. I even double-checked to make sure I wasn't overloading it or anything.
Okay, that's good to know. That rules out user error. It sounds like it might be a motor issue. Would you prefer a refund, or would you like to exchange it for a new one?
Honestly, I think I'd rather just get a refund. I'm a little hesitant to get the same model again, in case it has some kind of defect.
That's completely understandable. Since you have your receipt and it's within our 30-day return window, I can process a full refund for you right now.
Oh, that's a relief. Will it go back onto my card, or will I get store credit?
It'll go directly back onto the card you used for the original purchase. It might take 3 to 5 business days to actually show up on your statement, though, just so you're aware.
That's fine, no rush. Do I need to fill out any paperwork for this?
Just a quick return form. I'll fill most of it out myself. I just need your signature at the bottom once I'm done.
No problem. Oh, one more thing. Is there any chance I could look at a different brand instead? I don't necessarily need this exact type of blender.
Of course. Once your refund is processed, you're welcome to browse and pick out whatever works best for you. We've actually got a really good deal on a different brand right now. It's a bit sturdier and comes with a 2-year warranty.
Oh, that sounds promising. I'll definitely take a look at that one.
Great. Let me just finish up this refund real quick. All right, all done. Here's your refund for the refund, and here's the return form. Just need your signature right here.
There you go.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Your refund should be back on your card within the next few business days.
Awesome. Thank you for being so helpful with all this.
Of course, that's what we're here for. Let me know if you need any help finding that other blender.
Will do. Thanks again.
Anytime. Have a great rest of your day.
All right, that was a great one to wrap up with. Returning something to a store can feel awkward, but this customer handled it really well.
Totally agree. Let's start with how he described the problem. He said, "It makes this really loud grinding noise, and after about 10 seconds, it just shuts off completely." Notice how specific that description is. He didn't just say it's broken. He explained exactly what was happening.
That's such an important tip for our listeners. The more specific you are when describing a problem, Whether it's a product, an appliance, or even a service, the easier it is for the other person to understand and help you.
And it's worth noticing the structure he used too. He didn't just list symptoms randomly, he told it like a mini story. First it worked fine, then it started making noise, then it shut off. That kind of timeline makes it so much easier for the listener to follow along, whether you're talking to a store employee or a doctor.
Great point. Sequencing words like at first, then, and ever since are small, but they do a lot of heavy lifting when you're explaining something that happened over time.
I also want to point out the phrase, rules out user error. That's a really useful expression. It means eliminating the possibility that the person using something made a mistake. You'll hear that phrase a lot in technical or customer service situations.
Good catch. And let's talk about return window. That's the period of time during which a store will accept a return, in this case, 30 days. That's essential vocabulary if you ever need to return something yourself.
Definitely. Another useful one is store credit versus getting your money back on your card. Those are two very different outcomes, so it's important to know how to ask for the one you actually want. Store credit means the money stays with that store for a future purchase, while a refund puts the money right back where it came from.
That distinction trips a lot of people up, so it's worth practicing how to ask clearly. Something like, will this be a refund to my card or store credit, is a simple, direct way to get the answer you need.
And I loved how the employee explained the timeline. It might take 3 to 5 business days to actually show up on your statement. That phrase, business days, specifically excludes weekends and holidays, so keep that in mind when someone gives you a timeline like that.
One more expression worth grabbing here is sturdier. The employee said the other blender was a bit sturdier, meaning stronger and more durable. That's a great adjective to have ready when you're comparing products.
Great point. One last thing. Did you notice how politely both of them communicated throughout? Phrases like, I'm sorry to hear that, and that's completely understandable, go a long way in keeping a conversation friendly, even when there's a problem to solve.
Absolutely. Tone matters just as much as vocabulary sometimes. A calm, polite tone tends to get you better results, especially when you're asking someone for a favor or a solution.
So to sum it up, when you're returning something, come prepared. Bring your receipt, describe the issue clearly and in order. Know whether you want a refund or an exchange, and stay polite throughout. That combination will get you a long way.
Couldn't have said it better myself. All right, that wraps up our third and final conversation of the day.
And that brings us to the end of today's episode. Thank you so much for sticking with us all the way to the end. We really hope these conversations gave you some practical tools you can start using right away.
Seriously, we can't say this enough. We appreciate every single one of you who tunes in week after week and puts in the work to improve your English with us. This podcast wouldn't exist without you.
If you haven't already, we'd love for you to join our growing community over on YouTube. The link is right there in the description, so go ahead and click it, come say hi, and be part of the conversation with other learners just like you.
And if you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to give the video a like. It genuinely helps us reach more people who are trying to learn English just like you. And if you know someone, a friend, a classmate, a coworker, who's also working on their English, go ahead and share this episode with them.
Every like, share, and comment helps us keep bringing you free content like this, so we truly appreciate the support more than you know.
All right, everyone. That's it for today's episode. We had a great time putting this one together, and we hope you had just as much fun listening and practicing along with us.
Keep practicing, keep pushing yourself, and remember, every conversation you have in real life or through shadowing is one step closer to fluency.
Take care, keep learning, and we'll catch you in the next episode. See you soon.